Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the SITREP for the Mexican Civil War or drug war or just chaos in Mexico for the 7th to the 9th for the past 3 days. And there will be information that is before these 3 days. And let's start off with the more interesting things. More information have came out of the battle at the Culiacan, and according to the Mexican I think is Defense Minister Luis Crescencio Sandoval, they say that they actually sent thousands of troops to capture and to fight and control Culiacan, and actually they have captured. So Mexican government have taken full control of Culiacan now. And however, they did take casualties. So according to them, a colonel was among that was killed that in the attack following the arrest. Then 37 soldiers sustained gun wounds, and 21 gunmen were arrested. According to the information, they say that 10 military personnel and 19 suspected members of the Sinaloa drug cartel has been killed. So total 29 people have been killed. The information is a bit confusing. In a different article, it seems to suggest that the 29 actually was killed in the operation to arrest the son of the drug lord El Chapo, which is El Rato or El Rata, is it? I forgot the name. So further details of the battle was given by the defense secretary. So what happened was that the army actually said that there was cartel gunmen firing at their troops, Mexican troops, with 50 cal machine guns. As such, the army called in reinforcement. They called in Black Hawk helicopters with machine guns and gunships to attack the convoy of 25 vehicles. Basically, it reminds me of the Ukrainian raiding parties, where they actually attacked in the Kherson offensive against the Russian lines, and among them were trucks mounted with gun platforms, technicals. So if you play Command and Conquer Generals, you probably know this vehicle. And during this running shootouts, one Culiacan police officer has been killed and wounded 17 police officers and 35 military personnel. So the numbers start to vary a bit, very confusing. Then the cartel start to open fire on military aircraft, and then 2 of them were forced down due to significant number of impact in each of the 2 aircraft. So they didn't mention what kind of aircraft is this. And then the gang start to send their troops, their gunmen, to attack fixed-wing aircraft, both military and civilians, at the international airport. So this is the sequence of events. So one of the civilian airliner was hit, and then the gunmen also shoot up the entire airport building in order to prevent the cartel boss from being flown out of the city. But however, because the Mexican authorities already anticipated that the cartel would do something like this, because they have already experienced that once, they loaded Ovidio Guzman, the cartel leader, into a military helicopter and flew him to Mexico City. So as a response, there was information that Chow fighters were Chow soldiers were being deployed by the Sinaloa Cartel. So there are photos of a few kids in full fatigue and machine gun like rifles, so showing up. Which is a bit weird. I'm not sure if they are involved with the fighting, and I'm not sure also if if this photo actually happens during the fight or come after. But the understanding is that Culiacan has now been fully controlled by the military. I will show you a few videos. It's actually very ridiculous. So during the fighting, Sinaloa Cartel actually tried to adopt doctors from the local hospitals, because they needed the doctors to treat their own wounded fighters. And however, they did not seem to manage to get the doctors, the security and the police managed to convince the doctors to stay as well, because the doctors were freaking out. We are getting out of here, so that happened. So meanwhile, at the moment, the 3 airports are still closed. There's 3 airports closed. Los Mochis airport is closed, or rather a lot of airlines are not coming. Culiacan International Airport is the same thing. Some flights are not going to come or suspended, and also for Mazatlan International Airport. At Mazatlan itself, there was a report from CBC Canada, and saying that the next day after the fighting, things seems to be really peaceful. However, the roads are deserted. Like, there's totally nobody on the road, no cars, there's no police, no military. So he's so not sure. She's even not so sure if she's safe or not safe. And the mayor then came out with a video showing him strolling through the city of Mazatlan, and shaking hands and posing pictures with tourists, trying to convince the Canadian tourists that everything is fine, and then they can come to holiday here at Mazatlan again. So that's all from there. And something that I did not cover in the last report, which because it did not appear on my search, was that there was actually a jailbreak, a major jailbreak in Mexico, in Juarez, and one of the major cartel leaders, El Neto, actually escaped along with 29 other inmates on the New Year Day. So, but what happened is that he got tracked down to the city of Ciudad Juarez, or actually this is not Juarez. J is not pronounced J, right? It's pronounced Juarez, Cuadro Juarez. So this guy El Neto actually involved in a shootout, and then he got killed in the shootout. So in another report, the birth report was by Fox News. Washington Examiner actually reported that he was actually not killed. He was actually arrested, but he was injured, but he did not make it in time to the hospital, and he died along the way. So maybe that makes it sound a little better. So the photo taken by the Mexican authorities was not shown to the public, but it was actually his face and bloodied from wounds. So it looks like he was shot really many times. I think it's on purpose, I guess. So about this El Neto guy, he's actually the leader of the Los Mexicals. So he's now 32. Of course he's dead, so he's not going to get any older anymore. He was the gang at Juarez, and then he was in prison for a long time. So, but then in prison he actually have money, have phone, have VIP comforts. Very weird. So he was sentenced to 224 years in prison. This would be pretty long time for a dwarf, pretty short time for an elf. The Los Mexicals are gang members deported from the United States, and they are long suspected to be part of the Sinaloa Cartel. However, in some reports say that they have changed sides and they are part of the Juarez Cartel. So it would seem like they are from the Juarez Cartel, because this area here is actually controlled by the Juarez Cartel. So it might make sense that they are around here. And also, according also the map, because people was asking me, I missed out one of the gangs, so I've tried to find another map that shows the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or the Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, so the CJNG. And so they actually are holding this position, these two strongholds. These two areas are their strongholds, and this actually cuts into the Sinaloa territory, as well as cutting Gulf Cartel into two. So this would make a lot of sense, because I did think that these two cartels seems a little huge. So this makes a lot of sense. So that's the update to the map on that side. And interestingly, at El Paso, Joe Biden visited. So he visited El Paso for the first time as the president, and it's also his longest time spent along the border between US and Mexico. So he was there for 4 hours. So I think Trump might have stayed there much longer than that. So anyway, he was shown the standard VIP things, or how things work and everything. So this is actually to sell his new policy, because he announced a new program for the Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, Cubans, and Haitians. So Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Haiti. So these people now will be able to apply for work permit. I think every month is 30,000 people. Yeah. So 30,000 people are allowed to enter US to work, and provided they pass relevant checks. There are those that are ineligible, and then including those that try to illegally cross it through the US Mexico border, they will be deported immediately to Mexico, and then they will be banned from entering US for the next 5 years. And the Mexican Foreign Affairs Ministry has confirmed that they have agreed to accept the 30,000 expelled migrants per month as a partner to this US policy. So it's interesting that I actually welcome this news. I think this is a very balanced way of managing things. This is actually an expansion and improvement to what Trump have already done. Trump actually enacted policies that immediately kick people back over to the Mexican border, and for this time round, Biden tried to do a balancing act, allowing an alternative for all these Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, Cubans, and Haitians to have another alternative rather than try to cross the border illegally, which is actually very dangerous for them. So pretty good, and which is why he was there to sell the policy. And then this, after his trip at the El Paso, he flew direct to Mexico City. He landed at the airport here at the Aeropuerto Internacional Felipe Angeles. So he will be meeting the Mexican president, Andres Obrador, as well as the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, which I actually wrote president. My bad. So yeah, to discuss about drugs, crime, and migration. So this is the latest thing. Biden is currently now in Mexico. So there's a twist to the tale of El Raton, basically the leader of this Sinaloa Cartel, was that he was supposed, there is a lot of rumors that he will be extradited, or deported to USA, because USA listed him as one of the most wanted, and they really want to jail him. However, the Mexican judge agreed that Ovidio Guzman's request not to be extradited to the United States is actually granted, and it is very weird. Not sure in what way is all this being decided. So anyway, he's also allowed to contact his family and legal team, and also he can be briefed on physical conditions if he shows any signs of injuries. So immediately the action taken on Ovidio has kind of softened by the Mexican government. So maybe that's one thing. So, and currently he is this Ovidio guy, the El Raton, is actually jailed here in this high security prison, maximum security LT Plano prison. So this is also the prison where his dad tried to escape in 2015 via a tunnel dug in the showers. Quite amazing. I mean, imagine digging through the tunnel, something this big. So it must be a very long dig. So this is a interesting fortress of sort. You can see this. There's a long compound around the main building, which is also which is designed like a fortress, like a castle. And you can see they can play basketball as well. Quite cool. I wondered if they play soccer here. I think they do. Maybe this is soccer. No, this is basketball court. Oh, so sad they have no soccer. So anyway, so this is actually a pretty cool castle. Reminds me of Prison Architect. Anyway, I believe this is everything, I guess. So the war actually kind of immediately died down just after one day of fighting, And I think there's good reason for this. So because I want to show you some footages which is amazing. The Mexicans actually sent tanks into the city. Yeah, this is actually in Culiacan. Culiacan. Oh shit, I forgot the name of the city. But this is actually, you know, tanks, Mexican tanks operating in the city. It's basically an overkill and a super show of strength by the Mexican government against this cartel. And basically the cartel probably as a result can't really, you know, fight back with such overwhelming force being deployed against them. There's and also the Mexican military also, you know, sent in attack aircraft. So there's an attack aircraft and then shooting chain gun or machine gun at the ground targets, and then you can see the helicopter gunships are also operating around, firing down at the Mexican cartels. There's another footage even more cool. This is at night. You can see the guns being fired from the gunship, and actually you can and they actually fire back. You see, there's actually a tracer that flew up against the helicopter. So, you know, quite crazy if you ask me. Yeah. So this is some of the footages coming up from the city of the city of Culiacan. Yeah, suddenly forgot the name, so not used to it. So anyway, this is the sit rep at Mexico, the Mexican Civil War. I think the Mexican situation now has died down. If there's anything that start to flare up again, I will do a report again. And anyway, this is the update, and I'll see you in the next update. Please press the like button and subscribe.